Hey there, I am your photographer, Erin. I just wanted to make this video to let you know what to expect and how to get the most out of your session. It's mainly going to be geared towards families, but it should be useful for pretty much everyone. I'm going to let you know everything that you need to know about getting ready, posing, and importantly, how to handle feelings that you may have while we're shooting. Let's talk about things that we want to start thinking about before the session. My number one rule while we're shooting is that everyone have fun, okay? So parents, that can be a bit of a job, making sure that the kids are having fun during the session. One of the things that we want to start doing beforehand is talking it up. So instead of saying things like, we're gonna have a photo session and so you better be good and you need to be sitting still and looking at the camera and smiling and you have to listen to Miss Erin. Instead of using language like that, use language that starts to get kids excited. Like, we are gonna have so much fun tomorrow. We are gonna go on a photo shoot and meet the coolest lady, Miss Erin. She is so nice and we are gonna play some games. We're gonna do some silly stuff. Really start to get them excited about it. Another thing about making sure everyone's having fun is making sure that everyone is comfortable. So we don't want kids to be wearing things that are too small or maybe don't feel good, like it's scratchy. We also wanna make sure that they are warm, because if kids are cold and we're trying to take photos, they're not going to be having fun. They're not going to be smiling. They're going to want to end the session. Oftentimes it's in tears. My biggest piece of advice is to dress as though it's going to be 20 degrees cooler than what it actually will be. Oftentimes the wind is a little bit stronger at parks. There's not a lot of buildings, not a lot of shelter from the wind and the elements. So make sure that everybody is nice and cozy. You also want to try to leave as much stuff in the car or at home as possible, okay? Because when you have a bunch of stuff, sometimes it can get in the pictures. Oftentimes I want to take something that's a little bit more candid. You don't want to be carrying like a whole bunch of bags with the stroller that's like piled full of stuff. Try to leave as much as possible. Just for like the smaller kids, you may want something to wipe their nose, maybe bring like a little treat, a snack, something to drink, maybe something to put a little extra sweater or like a blanket to sit down on, things like that, okay? That's fine to bring. Make sure that dads have everything out of their pockets. Like, that is the number one thing that when people show up to a session that I'm having to tell them is, dads, get everything out of your pockets. That cell phone in your pocket, you're gonna see it, okay? I do have a pouch, so if there's something that you just absolutely have to bring, keys, a wallet, cell phone, I do have a pouch, so make sure to give that to me before the session. The next thing is make sure that you are fixed ahead of the shoot, okay? So if you have transitions glasses that you don't want to be worn, take those off. Moms, if you have a hair tie around your wrist, take it off. You know, make sure you get your hairspray done before the session starts, okay? Because like I said, I like to do a lot of candids. Sometimes I might take a picture as I'm walking up towards you guys, all right? So just go ahead and be ready. So now let's talk a little bit about what to do during the session. My biggest, I guess, piece of advice is to keep moving. This is not traditional studio portraiture film where you have to sit still and smile and look at the camera. The more you move, the better. For example, when I get everybody kind of situated to do a traditional portraiture shot, if you guys aren't kind of moving at least just a little bit, for me to get variety, I'm gonna have to move to different angles. I'm gonna have to, pose you guys in different ways. Where instead, if you just simply move your head a little bit, move your shoulders a little bit, every couple of seconds, like give me something a little new, a little different. That is really gonna help out a lot. I usually don't have to tell this to kids. Kids are totally fine with moving around. It's usually the adults that are trained very well to sit still and look at the camera. With that in mind, I do want you guys to keep moving, but there are a few hints that can kind of help you out. I do want everybody to be on the same plane, the same focal plane. So for example, instead of, your kid is up here and you're kind of back here, I'm going to want you to kind of move forward, because what will happen is the camera can only focus on one. In particular, the way that I shoot with a nice blurry background, we really want everybody to be on the same plane. Okay, and I'm trying not to kind of micromanage the kids. They tend to not like that so much. So I usually will want the adults to kind of come forward over the kids. So often the kids are down here, and then the adult will kind of bring forward. That'll also help elongate your chin a little bit more as well. Speaking of the chin, we want to try to keep the chin up, because if you're looking down at the kids, particularly like to try to see if they are looking at the camera, or you're trying to make sure they're having fun, anything like that. But if you're looking down, I can't see your face, right? And it's not a very flattering look to be shooting down at this angle. But if you kind of keep your chin up and you just use your eyes to look down at them, then I can see your face. I can get this whole nice scene, right? Another thing that you really want to try to do is to not be constantly fixing, because like I said, I do try to get some natural, candid, in the moment shots. So if you're like constantly, doing this kind of stuff, that will show in the portraits. So we want to try to kind of avoid that, because it doesn't necessarily look the best. The most important thing though is that you just let things unfold, okay? I am really trying to get something that is real. I am trying to see the real emotion between you and your partner, your kids, just you experiencing joy, them experiencing joy. And in order to do that, you need to kind of let go a little bit, all right? And so instead of trying to tell the kids what you want, let me assess the situation, assess the light, assess the kids' attitudes, and get what I can where I can. If the kids are running around, I'll just get a shot of you and your partner, or I'll get them to play a game or whatever. Don't worry so much about directing the shoot, and just let me do my thing. Trust the process. Don't worry about what I want either. Like if I want something, I'll tell you. Otherwise, you're looking great the way that you are. Oftentimes, you don't need to be posed, even though you may feel like you do. I will get traditional posed portraits, so don't worry about that. I will make sure to get a variety, at least a couple different backgrounds. Just focus on making sure that everyone is having fun. And don't ask me, what should we do now? Like, should I do this? Do you want me like this? If I haven't told you, then don't worry about it, okay? Another thing is maybe start thinking now about some fun little games that you can play with your kids. Do your kids like chase? Do they like tickling? Do they like jumping high up in the air? What is it that your kids love to do? Because I would love to get that. I want to try to get your kids having fun. I want to get those smiles. Think about maybe some silly things that you can say to them while you're shooting. Focus more on them than the camera. As long as you guys are having a good time, the photos are going to turn out great. And again, let me just iterate it one last time. Don't feel the need to tell your kids what to do all the time. If I need your help, I will let you know, okay? Go ahead, let Erin take the wheel. I got this, okay? Just focus on having a little bit of fun. Now let's talk about feelings. Oftentimes when you're shooting, you may feel certain things, and that really does affect the photos so much. The optimum feeling is that of joy, of relaxation, of focusing on the moment, hearing the birds chirping, feeling the sun on your skin or the cool breeze, these things that feel really good. That's what we really want. I want you to feel great. Let's talk about some of the emotions that maybe don't feel so great. The first one, stress. Okay, you're worried about the kids. Maybe you were a little bit late. Just know that from the moment that we start shooting, you can relax. Put everything in my hands, all right? This is a free photo shoot. If worse comes to worse and you absolutely hate your photos, you can either take it again or you can hire another photographer at a different time, okay? I'm pretty confident that we will get at least one photo that you absolutely love, even if you're not feeling the best. And if not, don't worry about it. Just let it go. The most important thing is that you're having fun, okay? There is no right or wrong. Just like in Bob Ross, there may be some happy accidents, like maybe, your kid is making a silly face, but it's so cute. Maybe your kid is crying. Sometimes those photos are freaking hilarious. I do love a kid absolutely crying when the parents are laughing and having a good time. That is a funny photo, and you will never get that moment again. Another thing too is that kids really pick up on stress. So if you're feeling stressed, trust me, it's not going to help you out at all when it comes to the kids. They will literally get so irritable when their parents are stressed. In order to kind of prevent stress, you want to prevent stress, if that makes sense. It really can become a vicious cycle. Another one is awkwardness. I hear this all the time. Oh my gosh, I feel so awkward in front of the camera. Okay, let me tell you something. If you just keep moving and focusing on having fun, I promise you, we will get photos that do not look awkward. Even if you feel awkward at the time, you really don't have to worry about it too much. The fact is that you probably look less awkward than you actually feel. That's kind of my job as well, is to try to put you in situations where even if you might feel a little awkward, you do not look awkward. So once again, trust the process. Self-consciousness. It is so hard to take photos, at least for me, for this reason. Let me give you a little bit of reassurance. First of all, you really truly are beautiful. Even if you may have flaws do not mean that you do not look great on camera. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have a beautiful photo of yourself. We all have this beautiful soul inside of us. That's my hope, is to capture your essence and to try to minimize flaws as much as possible. With that being said, I don't think that anybody likes all of the photos that they get ever. Maybe, okay, there might be some people that absolutely love all the photos that they get, but that's not normal. Trust me, it is very, very, very normal to like only a certain number of photos. And again, my job is to try to take enough photos that you get at least one or two, hopefully more, that you absolutely love, okay? And if you don't love the other ones, don't worry about it. But another thing is, I am only giving you the options that I think that you look good in. So even if you have a little chin, I mean, look at me, I have a little bit of a chin too, but you're laughing and it's so, the emotion is there. I might put that in. You might not like the way that your chin looks, but for me, I see so much beauty in that photo. I hope that you're able to kind of see the beauty that I see in that image, and hopefully know that there really is something beautiful inside of you and that photo captures it. Some final thoughts. You probably are watching this after I have sent you a very long text thread with a whole bunch of information. The biggest thing that you really need to know from that text that I sent you is to check the pin. Make sure that you look up ahead of time the directions to get there. I recommend trying to get there about 15 minutes early. Hang out in your car at least until about 5 minutes before the session. Start walking up to the planned meeting place about 5 minutes beforehand. I have 30-minute sessions that all are very tight and compact. You don't want to get there too far ahead of advance, just in case. You know, sometimes kids are going to fall down and get their clothes dirty. It could be windy, you know, just hang out in the car for a little bit. I really want to try to make sure that you get the photos that you love. So please, please, please communicate with me about what you're looking for ahead of time. If there's groupings that you want, request shots. If there's something that you're maybe a little self-conscious about, if there's a certain editing style that you really want, please let me know. Tips and good reviews are all so greatly appreciated. It definitely really encourages me to keep improving my service. Finally, if you ever want to work with me again, you can either text me. The number that I texted you from is my personal number. You can email shoot and ask for me. Like, even if you don't remember my name, just be like, oh, I would like to work with the photographer that I had at Richardson, or name the location. You can also choose me from the top photographers list when you are looking on the shoot website. I do hope that you follow me on Instagram and that you keep in touch. I really love to meet all of the people that I meet through shoot, and I really would love to make a lasting connection with you and your family. So by all means, stay in touch. I'm really looking forward to meeting you, and let me know if you have any questions, or like I said, if you have any requests or I need to know anything before the shoot, okay? Thank you so much. Bye.